Hello and welcome to It's the Little Things. My name is Rebecca and I am the development director for Big Brothers Big Sisters. And this is a monthly conversation that we have with one of our standout supporters, sponsors, volunteers, board members. And it's all about the little things that help make the big mission of Big Brothers Big Sisters possible. Today, I am really happy to introduce you to Mr. Ron Jackson. He is a standout member of our board, and I will put it to you. Would you tell us a little bit about yourself, Ron?
So my name is Ron Jackson. I'm the Director of Business Development and the National Military Liaison from El Paso Behavioral Health Systems. I served in the United States Army for approximately 22 years, 10 months, 2 days, 17 hours, and 53 seconds. And that's a little bit about myself. I'm also from Atlanta, Georgia. I was a little in Atlanta, Georgia. That's how, I got interested in doing the Big Brothers and Big Sisters in El Paso. The reason why I even came to El Paso was because of the military. I was in the Sergeant Major's Academy as a student. That's how I got brought here, coming from Fort Bragg, home of the Special Forces, Ranger, Airborne, and all that stuff like that. I was doing a little special stuff in the military. And I finally retired a year ago and made El Paso my home.
Well, congratulations on your retirement, and thank you so much for your service to our country. We are very proud of that. And I wanted you to touch a little bit more on, you mentioned that you were a little in the Big Brothers Big Sisters program as a child. Can you tell us about your experience?
Yes, ma'am. So I was a little in Atlanta, Georgia. His name was Sergeant Brown. He was also in the military. And I guess I was, you know, didn't want, I made a decision to join the Big Brothers and Big Sisters and try to go get a mentor because I didn't want to be a product of my own environment. The environment that I was in Atlanta, Georgia was a pretty rough environment, drug infested, prostitution and stuff like that. So it was easy to become a product of your own environment if your perspective, you never change your perspective. So I wanted something better for myself. Didn't want to be, I never was a follower of crowds and stuff like that. So I wanted to be better for myself. And I was paired up with Sergeant Brown. And, I also was on the swim team when I was growing up, played water polo, a lot of sports and things like that. And he came to all the sports. He did things that I would do with a parent he was doing with me, going shopping, looking for shoes, helping with homeworks. It was the little things that actually made an impact to me, to where I was able to take what he was doing and instilling in me, planting those little seeds. And I ended up going into the military myself. And not only I went into the military, I actually signed up to in the military with the same job that he was doing when he was in the military, which was field artillery. So I ended up joining field artillery and doing real well. He ended up retiring 10 years after I got in the military, and lost contact with him though. But that's the reason why I started to be a little.
Wow. Well, so it's safe to say he made some major impacts in your
Oh,
life. And I
yes,
mean,
ma'am.
you even followed his footsteps into the military. That's amazing.
Yes, ma'am. I came from a home where I was raised by my grandparent, and due to unseen circumstances, while I was raised by my grandparent, that father figure wasn't there, let's say. So he was able to fill those shoes as well in some aspects of my life, and started teaching me things about how to become a man from a teenager. And some of the principles and things that he instilled in me, I still apply to this day. Pretty much be a man of your word, things like that. If you start something, finish it. Those principles that he put into me when I was a little, now that I'm a director, I actually instilled in my employees here at my job.
Well, kudos to him because he did a fantastic job
Yes.
instilling that in you. And obviously it's stuff that you have carried on into your adulthood. And so I know you work in the mental health field. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so I work for El Paso Behavioral Health Systems. We provide stabilization and treatment for those who suffer from suicidal and homicidal thoughts,
Mm.
thoughts of harming themselves and others, those who suffer from anxiety, depression, trauma, post-traumatic stress syndrome, substance abuse, or need to detox. Our facility have a specialized unit for special populations, which we have a children and adolescent unit, which that's very important to Big Brothers and Big Sisters because our children and adolescent unit starts from the age of 5 to
Wow.
17. Yeah, we're the only facility in the area that actually started at the age of 5 and 17 for inpatient, outpatient setting. So, I mean, we got what you need and most of what you want. And if it's something you want that we don't have, it ain't worth having. Listen, it's all about trying to help the community. And that's what we do. We also have a dedicated women's program for the moms. We also have a dedicated military program as well for veterans and active duty service members. And me being a little, I've seen a lot of things coming up in my bringing up and when I was in the military that made me want to do work in mental health. I've seen a lot of things, and of course, I have a few family members that suffering with some mental health issues as well. So, and then, of course, I told you I was raised by my grandmother, and she owned a personal care home. I don't know if you know what that is. So uh, she used to do adult daycare sitting and stuff like that in
Mhm.
the home. And a lot of those patients, they had mental health illnesses that I was able to assist my grandmother with when I was growing up as a little. And so I had a passion on that. I didn't do that when I was in the military, but I was able to use that experience with some of the situations the soldiers would bring to me. And once I retired, I wanted to go into helping the community with mental health.
Wow. Well, I know that's a great kind of segue into the work that Big Brothers Big Sisters does actively to enhance the mental health of not only our participants but the El Paso community, as many of our staff are certified in mental health first aid training. And I know you have learned a lot about that on our end through your role as a board member. So how does your experience in mental health, how has that inspired you as a board member for Big Brothers Big Sisters?
Oh man, so it actually intensified my passion. It intensified my passion. When I go out and I see the mentors with the mentees, with the littles, and then I see them how they act post after the visit.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I found, and I'm gonna try to say this without shedding a tear. Um, I see the kids in their natural habitats and the natural communities, and we can fix the mental health while they're in a facility or when they're with us, but we can't change the environment. So I've seen some things that that's troubling with mental health, and it's not enough resources here in El Paso to deal with all the mental health issues that we have here in El Paso. So I'm only one person, but it's the little things that count. So if I can just
Absolutely.
do my part and I can, inspire someone else to do their part, and then we come together and make a team, then we can tackle this mental health crisis that we have here in El Paso. Being with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters, it opened up my eyes to things that I actually didn't have a perspective to even look that way, to look at, oh my God, look what's going on over here. Didn't even think about it. I had tunnel vision with no exit signs. I just didn't even thinking about those kids who was going through that. And I never thought, because I'm like, oh, they're just kids. Until I got into Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and no, they're kids, but they also little people. So
Yep.
with their own
Well,
little.
absolutely. And I just can't tell you how much we appreciate having you with your background and your expertise in so many fields that are relevant to our youth mentoring and now our mental health first aid aspect of our program. We are just really, really happy to have you on board, literally.
Yes, ma'am.
And just thank you for all you do for our program. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I don't know. I just thank you for giving me the opportunity to actually serve on the board as a board member. I'm loving it. I like the camaraderie that we have at the El Paso Big Brothers and Big Sisters. We can see someone that need help, and you don't have to even ask because they can see it and they just jump right in. And that's the thing that I like about our team, that we can see something and we plan ahead. It's not a react to contact with our board members. We already got things in place to catch all the stuff, and that's one of the things I like.
Well, we like it too. And just
Yes,
thank you again. And I really
thank you,
appreciate you spending a few minutes with me today to share your
thank you for
experience. And for everyone out there watching, this is just another way that you can get involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters. You can be a board member, you can be a volunteer mentor, you can be a donor. There's so many ways to get involved. And I encourage you to look into the ones that work for your lifestyle. So thank you so much, and tune in next month for another episode of It's the Little Things.
Thank you for having me.